Hey, how y'all doing? Hope nobody's watching this, but if you are, just wanted to say hello. Um, I'm gonna see. I might be putting her down on Saturday. I don't know. I'm gonna take her into the vet and let them take a look at her and let me know. Uh, I'm feeding her like gravy and shit right now. It's like the whole jaw, the lower mandible's been eaten away with cancer. They say she's not in pain as long as she's still purring. Seems in good spirits. I'm gonna keep her alive, but it's tough. It's just one of those things, you know? I've been stuck in this hole since, like, I mean, most of my life, but definitely since 2008. Trying to find a way out. It's just dark, no windows, and these cats, Cringer before them. It was the cat I had just before they passed away. Just before I got them, he passed away. I had him from 2008 to 2014. These three were siblings. I got them in 2014. And they're only 10, so I thought I would have them all three a lot longer. I wasn't expecting this, but it's my fault. I mean, I didn't get her checked out regularly. I didn't. I didn't have the money. Just living in shit poverty my whole life. But I feel like I failed her. When she dies, I gotta bring her body so Apollo and Artemis will see her. Cause I can't just take her away and not let them just understand. I mean, but animals know death. It's just, it's rough. It's so difficult because, like I said, it's like this is what I've been reduced to. Just this whole trying to figure out my ideas while I tend to these guys, and it's just I wasn't ready for this. I remember the look. It was like I don't even know, maybe a month or so, maybe 2 months ago now, and Athena was just sitting up there where she sits on a little perch, and then she looked at me, and she had her bottom tooth. It was just off to the side, and it was adorable and terrifying. It was adorable to look on her face, but it was terrifying because the moment I saw that, I knew something was desperately wrong. And then that's when I took her to the vet, and I asked him to keep the tooth. I don't know why. I just didn't want to throw it out. And when I got the tooth back, they were like, "Is she fighting the other cats?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't think she was fighting." And then that's what they thought the tooth got broke because she was fighting. But then I looked at the tooth and it was just all eaten away. And then when the doctor was saying how the bone was just the whole lower mandible was eaten away at the pet dentist, I'm like, why didn't the vet? There was like a month where the vet was just like they were thinking it was just a cat fight. And it's like I don't know if it would have helped if I got her treated sooner in that month, but it was just like something started puffing up, and that's when I took her, and then they took out this mass, and that's when they found out the mass was cancerous. And it was just, it's like I feel like maybe that wasted month, or I don't know. I can't help but feel guilty. I mean, she's a sweet little girl. And just, I don't know, just I wouldn't expect it all to turn out like this. Like I said, my whole life I kept fighting, trying to do good, trying to be good, because I really believed the lie that if you do good, good happens to you. If you take care of others, they'll take care of you back. But I never experienced that. I always got judged, man. Fuck. Can I tell you how jealous I am of people who just are just accepted for who they are? I mean, granted, most time that happens, the person is just a common person accepted by society. But I fucked up and I was different. I chose to be different. I wanted to be different. And that difference was just a curse, man. People looked at me and just read the book by its cover. Said he's bad news, he's wrong, we don't take care of him. Just stepped on over and over and over again. And that's the crazy thing, is people who would take my help first. And then when it came time for them to help me, then there was always a reason why they couldn't. They didn't feel like it was justifiable to help me. I needed to change things first. I needed to be a better person. It's like, if I wasn't a better person, why'd you take my help? Now I'm just I'm just fucking worn. Just worn as shit. Because it's like going back to what I was talking to in the earlier videos. How I create all these different versions of myself. Well, the thing is, it's like people don't appreciate this when I tell them, but I create. When I was young, I did it. I started creating bad versions of myself. You know, the darker versions of humanity. Because I was curious about it. I didn't know what I was playing with, you know? And then they grew. And when they grew, they started creating other versions because that's what they wanted to do. So they multiplied their numbers. So there was so many bad versions of me that just started growing rampantly inside of myself. And I managed to push them all out. Like, it's hard to explain how my mind works. It's really just a fucking crazy ass megaverse. But they're out there, way far away, so I'm not worried about them getting in the captain's chair. And the captain's chair is essentially the place in my mind that governs the physical body that I have. Because there's all different versions of me. They're all out there, but they don't all control this body, you know? It wouldn't work well that way if I made it that way. But it's just one of those things where I know at one point in time, that's because people think I'm depressed. I'm not depressed. I'm sad, sure, not depressed. And I'm sad because I know what inevitably is going to happen. Because it's like all the good versions of me are just getting killed off. They're dwindling in numbers. Bad versions of me proliferating. So eventually, the bad versions of me are going to take over, and they are going to take the captain's chair. And then I'll become a bad person. That's where my suicidal tendencies come from. It's like before that can happen, I got to kill myself. That way, the bad versions don't take over. And it's just one of those things where I'm zeroed in. Like most people think, oh, you gotta go to therapy. They don't listen to me. They just tell me I gotta go to therapy. I'm like, bro, you have no fucking idea how deep I have self-actualized. I don't need to go to therapy. I'm beyond that shit because I freaking psychoanalyze all of this shit all day long. Like I said, I write programs and stuff. I'm essentially a system administrator for the human brain. My brain, but still. My mentality is that the stuff that I'm doing in my brain can work in other people's brains too because there's nothing special about me. I just stumbled upon the methods of doing something special. And another thing on that is the flip side of the coin is like I said, all these, when I create these suits and bubbles, I experience all these things. I experience different worlds. I experience them as the villain, the victim, and the voyeur. I mean, it's like I'll go through the situation, let it play out. When I'm done, reset, change a few things, play it again. Done, reset, play a few things, do it again. Like I said, it's just over and over and over. And I have all these worlds just being lived in, going through things like that, all throughout my mind. And it's how I have real experiences. But I create real trauma. And my answer for it as a kid was just to run. I always ran from it. So, and it just grew. It just grew. So it's like, here 40 decades later, I have this gigantic wall of trauma in my spirit that's chasing me like the fucking Langoliers. And I have, on the other side, the future, knowing that eventually all the good versions of me are going to die off, and then there's only be the bad versions left, so they're going to take over. And I'm sandwiched in the middle. And it's like, what a fucking place to be after the year I had when I was betrayed by someone who he really was, to me, the closest thing to a best friend I thought I had. I had no idea I was nothing to him, you know? And the community, I mean, I ain't calling them out or anything like that, but it is a betrayal because they asked so much of me. I've never had any group of people ask so much of me. And when I went down, crickets, man. Nobody really cared. I mean, a couple people reached out, but it was minimal efforts. It was sad, man. One of the things where I realized how much of a nothing I was. People try to tell me, oh, yeah, self-work. Nah, actions speak louder than words. People could tell me words all day long. When push came to shove, nobody showed up for me. A couple people had messaged, a couple people called, but nobody showed up for me. That's who I am, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to cut off there, man. Hope you guys have a good day and take care.